Hello, people pleasers. Those who mask their emotions with laughter, salute. Those who listen to sad boy music at 3 a.m. just to feel something, I'm talking to you. And those who have repressed their emotions so much that when they're at a party, they might crack a joke like, what even are feelings? And everyone else laughs. You laugh with them, but deep down, you know it's an existential cry for help. Welcome. Take a seat. I promise I won't bite, but I might just make you cry. So I'll give you fair warning that this video, it's not for you if you just want to feel happier, because you're gonna get hit with all the feels in taking these tips. And when you first start getting in touch with your feels, it will feel overwhelming. You might wanna resort to your old coping mechanisms. You might wanna withdraw. You might wanna distract yourself. So let me remind you that the feeling of overwhelm, it'll pass if you allow it to flow through you, sit with the feeling. And remember why you clicked into this video in the first place. Like, you saw the title, how to get in touch with your own feels. Okay, maybe you clicked it because you're bored. So let me tell you why you would want to get in touch with your feels. So number 1, you're curious.
How would life be if you were more in touch with your own emotions?
Number 2, you're tired of feeling like a robot.
What if I told you you'd feel more alive?
Number 3, you want to make quicker decisions.
A purely thought-based decision that would typically take days or hours could be made within minutes or even seconds.
Number 4, you'll open up an infinite world to discover yourself within. And as you get more in touch with your feelings, you'll learn that they come and go and that you're so much more than what you feel. And you're not your feelings. And that when unexpected events occur, you'll be able to control how you react way better. Let me give you guys a visual. This is a scale of consciousness from David Hawkins' book, Letting Go, illustrated by Moi. As you can see here, we've got a range of emotions. On the left, we've got negative emotions. On the right, we've got positive emotions. As you move towards the right of the scale, these emotions, they're associated with vibrating at a higher frequency. Now, getting in touch with our feelings means that we have a greater capacity to feel all of our emotions. Some people struggle with feeling anger. Some people struggle with feeling shame. And believe it or not, some people struggle with feeling positive emotions too, like love. When we are more in touch with our feelings, we see that negative emotions, they're not bad. They're just indicators of when we're not in alignment with our life. For example, if we feel a negative emotion, it could mean that we are not doing the things that make us feel alive, or it could mean that we're doing things that are against what we value, opposite of that. And as we have greater capacity to feel each of these emotions, we'll also act less impulsively. And my favorite part is that if we decide to let go of negative emotions and choose positive emotions instead, we'll feel the positive emotions more intensely. And if you consistently let go of negative emotions, you'll feel a positive state for longer durations of time. And I've actually got a video on letting go, so I'll link that in the description. Okay, next. Something that I've only come to learn this past year is that feeling your emotions, that is not the same as intellectualizing your emotions. Okay, let me tell you guys. So there are some people that can feel their emotions, but they cannot identify what it is that they're feeling. And then there are some people that can identify, or they can intellectualize what they think they are feeling, but not feel the physical sensation through their body. So 2 types of people. And you might be actually a mix between these 2 different types, because we all vary in different levels of emotional availability. So I'm gonna have specific tips that you can follow depending on which camp or category you are in, and also general tips that will help with both feeling emotions and intellectualizing your emotions, because what we wanna do is master both in order to master our feelings. So let's get right into it. Use the feelings wheel, feelingswheel.com. It's a free resource. I first heard about it from my therapist, and when I first saw it, I'm like, it felt so childish to me because it looks like a tool that you would use in kindergarten to learn, but it is a circular graph that has a range of the human emotions, and it shows how the emotions are all associated with each other. And something that I was surprised with, despite it looking very kindergarten-y, was that, did you know anger is associated with feeling withdrawn and distant? Because I had no idea. I always thought that anger was associated with more like violent outbursts. So if you didn't know, now you know. Okay, my next tip for you if you struggle with identifying your feelings is to write it down. So write down what you think you felt, perhaps in a journal, and reflect back on your day. The same day, reflect back on a moment where you are trying to figure out how you felt during that specific moment. Perhaps it was at a time where you're doing a specific action, or somebody said something to you. Do it the same day. And if you don't know what you're feeling, you're likely feeling overwhelmed. So write down all the different emotions that you think you might be feeling. And what you will see if you consistently journal over time is that you'll be able to look back at all these entries and see, oh, this is what anger looks like. This is what it looks like when I feel ashamed. And as you can see all these entries, you can see a typical pattern too. So when this event occurs, I tend to feel this way. Doing this repetitive action really instills confidence that you are making progress. You are becoming more emotionally available. My tip for you is to listen to music that will elicit a certain emotion that you're trying to work on. How do you know which emotions to work on? A good indicator would be if there is a certain emotion that you struggle with feeling entirely, or if there is a certain emotion that you typically do things to avoid feeling, then you are likely repressing it or suppressing the feeling by avoiding it. And what I do is I listen to punk music. So punk music, it vibrates at the same frequency as the emotion of anger for the most part. So I struggled with feeling it in the past because I had repressed it. I always associate anger with being a bad emotion. So what I did to bring out that emotion to the surface is listen to punk music at the gym, and it makes me want to just break shit. It's great, so give it a shot. And my next tip would be to do a body scan meditation. So what is a body scan meditation? You can look it up on YouTube. There's a bunch of 10-minute, 25-minute ones, but essentially it's a meditation that focuses your awareness all throughout specific body parts, moving from your head down to your toes. And it allows for you to get familiar with what sensations you might feel throughout your body. So give that practice a shot. It might be a little difficult to start at first if you have trouble staying still, but it is incredibly helpful at identifying where you might be holding certain emotions in your body. Okay, and my last tip to feel more of your emotions would be to open your heart. And I know how it sounds. I know it sounds really out there. Like, what do you mean open your heart? But all it means is put yourself into a state of receiving, where you are accepting and open, especially to love. People who repress or close off from receiving love, a lot of the time it's because they feel that they are unworthy of love. So open yourself up to that. If you have a fear of intimacy, this might be also a reason why you might have trouble opening your heart. So that might be an emotion that you can work with, the fear behind that. All right, I hope these tips were helpful. I have more tips coming. If you like this video so far, you want to support my channel, please drop me a like, a comment. It really helps to support my little channel here. My number one tip is to spend time alone without any distractions. When you are away from others, away from distractions, you're forcing yourself to get in touch with your own thoughts and feelings. So you could meditate, you can go on long walks. If you really want to get into the trenches of it, and work through any unresolved trauma. Go through your childhood. Go through every heartbreak that you've had. Go through every single time when you have felt that you wouldn't make it, and allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up and process them. And the next thing that I would recommend is therapy. So therapy is great. You're paying someone for an hour and a half, and you're just talking about yourself the entire time, and the other person is just so attuned to what you're saying, and you walk out of the session with more tools. And sometimes you walk out of it feeling more broken than you did going into it, and sometimes you feel relief, but every single time you are processing more of your feelings. And if you can't afford therapy, talk to somebody that you trust. And my last tip is to stop romanticizing emotional unavailability, okay? Just don't do it. Stop. What you're doing is creating inner conflict. I mean, you click this video because you want to learn how to get more in touch with your feelings. If you romanticize emotional unavailability, there are two opposing ends of one spectrum. Stop it. You're confusing yourself. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys have fun feeling alive. Bye.